Beneath the Lilacs by Stacy Weatherwax. On the morning of December 26th, Mary Lincoln awoke in a strange place. Before she opened her eyes, she felt pain in her arms and legs, but not the usual aches that come with being old. The pain was more severe, yet somehow far away. Mary opened her eyes to see a blurred and unfamiliar ceiling flickering, humming ominously. Sickly light beamed down from the overheads of a hospital recovery room. Periodic beeps came from her right side. As she tried to move her head toward the sound, she realized she was not moving at all. With a little more effort and some pain, she slowly rolled her head to the left and saw the blurred outline of plastic tubes diving into her elderly arm, lying motionless in bed next to her. Soft, quick footsteps approached from the hall outside and entered into the room. The figure was that of a young woman dressed in white. "Hello, Mary. I'm Kristen, a nurse here at Carson Tahoe Hospital. You've been in a car accident, but you are all right. Dr. Strands will be here in a moment to talk to you. How do you feel? Can you hear me?" Mary squirmed. She sent the intention to speak to her throat and mouth, but nothing came out, just air. "Take your time," said Nurse Kristen. "You don't have to talk yet if you don't feel like it." The deflated man next to Mary let out a throaty moan. With effort, she hummed through lips pursed tightly, then stuttered, "My dog." "I'm sorry, Mary. Your dog was killed instantly in the crash. This is a lot for you to take all at once, but you're cared for here, okay?" The nurse placed her hand on Mary's left forearm and gave a gentle squeeze. Mary could see the woman's face a little clearer now, and thought that her light brown hair and small glasses reminded Mary of her daughter. She wished the woman was her daughter. "Here's the doctor now, Mary." At first, Mary thought the tall, thin doctor a man, but as Dr. Strand stepped to Mary's bedside, the face and gray hair tied back in a ponytail were the features of a woman. "Hello, Mrs. Lincoln. I'm Dr. Strands. Can you look toward me for a moment, Mary?" Mary thought she was already looking in the doctor's direction. Dr. Strands held a bony finger in the air. Mary followed it with her eyes. "Can you tell me your name?" "Mary." The doctor asked, "Where do you live, ma'am?" "The Crossing." "What state?" "Esmeralda County, Nevada." "Your date of birth?" "March 1945. "And how old does that make you, Mary?" Mary was feeling some irritation that was a combination of her slow response and the doctor's questions. 66. The doctor stepped to the end of the bed and lifted up the tight sheets. "Now I'm just going to apply some pressure to your toes and feet. Tell me when you can feel the pinching sensation." Mary felt the doctor's cold hands on the soles of her feet. She twitched away. "Good," said Dr. Strands. "Sorry my hands are so cold. Now wiggle your toes for me, Mrs. Lincoln." Mary wiggled her toes, but looking down, she could make out no movement through her unclear vision. Dr. Strands stood at Mary's left side and bent down slightly. "Mary, first of all, you're very lucky to be alive. You've been unconscious for at least, let's see, 25 hours. You have a few minor bruises, nothing broken, but you have had some severe head trauma. From what we can tell, you have had a hemorrhage that resulted in a stroke. This doesn't mean that you're paralyzed, but you do have impairment in movement, limb rigidity, delayed response. You'll have some difficulty seeing and speaking. It's early to tell how severe the symptoms will be, but we'll know more when we run some magnetic resonance imaging and cranial ultrasound. The doctor's words turned to mush in her head. All incoming information was turned asunder by one thought that overtook her. Can I walk? Can I walk? Mary's arm jerked and waved as she raised it and asked slowly, Walk? Will I walk? Dr. Strands paused a moment, looking seriously at her and said, As far as we can tell, no. Not easily. Not without much help. After a few months of occupational and physical therapy, you may be able to stand up in a walker, but as I said, we can't tell anything until we have those scan results. The old question seemed to disappear as a new one came into her mind. My son. Nurse Kristen answered for the doctor, who now examined something on her clipboard. The hospital tried to contact your son, Brett, but we couldn't find him. We called your daughter in Buffalo and left a message, but still no word from her. Do you have any relatives or close friends at home in Esmeralda County? Anywhere nearby? Mary shook her head slightly, but just enough for the nurse to understand her answer as a clear no. She closed her eyes and thought of her husband, Tom. When she saw him in her imagination, she always saw him as funny. And he was. As stubborn as he was lovable, Tom was a painter of desert landscapes, and his pieces were prized locally. His career as an artist, though modest, was sufficient to support them in their golden years. She counted the years in her mind. More than 4 years ago, on the 773, heading towards Coaldale, an oncoming car struck them head-on. Tom was ejected from the vehicle. She was in the passenger side, completely unharmed. No matter how many times she asked him, told him, begged him to wear a seatbelt, he refused. Tom passed away shortly after the paramedics arrived on the side of the dusty road. Mary strained to recall a memory of her accident just one day ago. She remembered returning home alone from Reno, where she spent the weekend gambling modestly at the slot machines. She remembered driving her Buick Skylark around 1 o'clock at night, seeing few to no cars along an isolated stretch of Route 73. Then high beams blinding her. She flashed her lights. The beams turned off, completely off, and the vehicle crossed the line and collided directly head-on with her. Her most outstanding memory of what happened just before the accident was the boredom she felt, driving alone on the highway. Her dog, named Clown, was fast asleep. And though good company he was, there was no conversation. Dozens of miles before she saw the other vehicle, she remembered nodding off, but coming nowhere near a state of sleep. The voice of Dr. Strands interrupted the memory. Mrs. Lincoln, can you hear me? Mary opened her eyes and nodded as Nurse Kristen adjusted the pillow behind Mary's head. We're going to let you rest a little more this morning before we run those tests, all right? You have any questions now? Asked the doctor. Mary had trouble forming the words, both in her head and with her mouth. Anyone else hurt? The serious concern on the doctor's face showed through Mary's murky vision. Well, we don't think so. The police reported that the other driver fled the accident on foot. As far as I know, they have not found the owner of the vehicle. Nurse Kristen interrupted. You can expect the state police to come by in the next day or two to question you about the accident. Anything you remember might help them out. Mary felt even more hurt when she heard the driver had hit and run. Who would risk their life in the deserts of Death Valley? Had they wandered off in a daze? The situation was all so horrible, so strangely coincidental, that she could do nothing for the moment but fall asleep. The cold shock of moving from the Nevada desert to Buffalo in January seemed to halt Mary's progress in physical therapy. Mary had worked hard over the last 4 weeks, endured pain and the fatigue of hopelessness. Now she had been relocated to what she thought was a cold desert. She lay on her back on a padded table, and Heather Snell, her physical therapist, was moving her legs, making them walk for her. Go, 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 Mary, said Heather, pumping Mary's legs faster and faster. Relax, relax, tell me if it hurts, okay? It hurts, said Mary. It's been hurting since you started. That's okay, it's supposed to a little bit. Just push through it and you'll be fine. I feel like pushing it right out the window, said Mary. A couple of the other occupational therapists in the room at the Buffalo Rehabilitation Center laughed at Mary's comment. Oh, Mary, said Heather, we love your sense of humor here. Heather rested Mary's legs gently down on the table. Mary turned her head, looked through the large window in the room. The landscape outside was pure white. Blowing snow accumulated on every surface outside. Yucca, said Mary. Only word I have for the weather you have here. Yucca. Oh, come on, Mary. Don't be so negative. At least you don't have therapy outside today. Mary smiled slightly, but then winced from a poking pain making its way up from the back of her neck. Heather had come to read Mary's needs like a book. Can I get you a hot pad for your neck? Yes, that would be nice. I had my headrest down when it wasn't supposed to be. Heather strapped a harness around Mary, pumped the handle of the lift, a kind of small crane. The device hoisted Mary up from her place on the table. Heather wheeled the lift to Mary's power chair, gently releasing Mary into her seat. There you go, Mary. You're all set to go to art now. What do you do? What are you working on with Julie? I'm doing a painting of a rainbow in spring over the Mojave Desert. What? You mean you have rainbows in the desert back home? Oh, yeah, replied Mary. Back in 1992, I photographed a triple rainbow. My husband Tom liked the photograph so much, he turned it into a painting. I was never the one who was artistic, but now I'm getting into it. Painting relaxes me. It makes me feel like I'm with my husband, as silly as that sounds. Doesn't sound silly at all to me, said Heather. A voice came from the door. It was Sonia Harris, the senior speech therapist at Buffalo Rehab. Is that Mary talking up a storm in there? Yeah, it's me, said Mary. Since you showed me how to use my mouth again, I haven't been able to keep it shut. The room came alive with laughter. You are the funny one, said Sonia. But in all seriousness, I must say that you are something of a miracle. I was just saying to Elizabeth that I've never seen anyone make the kind of progress with speech that you've made. I had excellent help, said Mary. She suddenly felt like crying, but held it back. She was amazed at how quickly she had grown close to these people who were strangers when she first arrived. I'll have to come by the art room and see you paint, said Sonia, backing out the door to the hall. I hear you've been doing great things in that room, too. Mary wheeled down the hall, around the corner to the art room. The halls of Buffalo Rehab were empty, quiet, much too sterile. But the art room was alive with color and texture. The walls were covered with paintings, drawings, photographs of all sizes. Natural light poured in from a large bay window that looked out into a courtyard. Trees, shrubs, raised garden beds lay still and silent beneath the snow. At the large easel in the corner by the window, there sat a middle-aged man with a bald head, and Julie Fairfax, the art therapist, standing at his side. "Nice work, Kyle. I just love your lines," said Julie, a woman in her 30s with medium-length brown hair with purple streaks. Julie was a wild, yet gentle being who had been a great comfort to Mary during her recovery. Kyle turned to look back at Mary in the doorway. He smiled, said nothing, put his glasses back on, reached for his walker. "I guess we're done for today, Kyle," said Julie. "I'll come find you tomorrow." As Kyle shuffled out, Mary wheeled in and said, "Hiya." "Hey, Mary, good to see you." Julie's eyes opened wide behind her thick glasses. The soothing aroma of fresh mint tea followed Julie wherever she went. She drank the tea continually while in the art room. "Can I pour you a cup of tea?" asked Julie. "Not today, dear," replied Mary. She took a sip of coffee from a long straw that went into a cup at her armrest. "I need something a little stronger in this weather. Coffee. Coffee. I have your piece ready to go here, but we should talk about it first." Mary saw her painting on the table, a large square of canvas depicting, in acrylic paint, a sliver of desert land. At the bottom, an immense stormy sky, a rainbow passing through the heart of a wispy purple cloud. "I can't believe this," said Mary, "but I actually like this painting. I like it too, for one thing because it's good, and for another because it came from you. I know this might sound crazy, and you're the only person I'd tell this, but you think I think you might be crazy, Mary? Have you seen the color of my hair?" "You're funny, kid," said Mary, "but sometimes I feel like my husband is doing this painting." "How so?" "Well, as I've told you before, my husband did pretty well as an artist. He was known for painting landscapes of desert scenes. Some of his larger works are on display at some of the big casinos in Vegas." "Wow, I bet casinos pay well." They did, but he never cared about the money as much as he loved being in the desert at night. But when I was making this painting with you, I felt close to him, closer than I felt since he died. What about your son and daughter? Do they do art?" Brett had a real talent until he left high school. He didn't do art after he left? No. He does only one thing at a time and puts everything he's got into it. When he went off to college, he concentrated on his studies. Then he went to Touro University to do a master's in occupational therapy. So he's an occupational therapist, like Jody who works here? Julie uncovered Mary's warm palette and prepared her easel. "He almost was," replied Mary. "He dropped out in his last semester after Tom died." Silence came between them. Julie asked, "Was he close with his dad?" No. I think that's why Tom's death got to him. He felt he never got to know his dad. Then the day came, it was just too late. What's Brett up to now? Does he live here in the Buffalo area? Your daughter Pat lives here, doesn't she? Pat lives in the town of Lockport. Me too. Does she work there? She's a computer technician in the Bewley building. Oh, I might see her then. My husband works there in the architectural firm. But where's Brett? Mary sighed. She felt suddenly exhausted just talking about her family. Or perhaps the last 30 minutes of intense physical therapy had worn her out. Brett works as a bartender on a cruise ship. The last time I talked to him, he was off the coast of Florida. When was that? Before Christmas. I talked to him on the phone. I haven't seen him much longer than that. How long? Too long. So you haven't talked to him since before the holidays? Wasn't your accident right on Christmas night? Yup.
Yeah.
Mary took the number 4 round camel hair brush from Julie's hand and slowly dabbed its tip in the smooth pool of cerulean blue. Then, raising the brush to the emerging turbulent sky of the piece before her, she said, "He still doesn't know I'm here."
No.
Pat couldn't get him on the phone, and he never told us what ship he was transferred to. He doesn't even know?
No.
How can it be that you can't get a hold of him? No email? No Facebook? Pat said he never responded, assuming he got the messages at all. How come I haven't met your daughter, Pat, if she's just a few miles away? Oh, she's been here. She comes in a few times. Mary pressed the brush against the sky and scumbled the light blue into the atmospheric canvas. She continued, she doesn't talk to me like she used to before Tom's accident. She blames me. What happened between you? How could she blame you for what wasn't your fault at all? You weren't even driving. Tom refused to wear a seatbelt. I used to nag him every time we got in the car, but he would not listen. Even after tickets and warnings from the police, he still refused. He said the belt hurt his neck. Even when Pat was a little girl, she worried about her dad wearing his belt, nagging him too. Now, as Tom and I got older, I just stopped nagging him. I was tired of being the safety fairy. He died because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And I guess Pat needed someone to blame for it all. Someone other than him, anyway. Blame might be how we make sense of tragedies. But that's not fair at all, man. Not wearing a seatbelt was his decision. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm sure he knew the risk. Mary gently pulled the scumbling brush away from the canvas and placed it in the water. She was crying, soundlessly, tears falling off her cheekbones and on to her apron. I'm sorry, Mary, said Julie. She rubbed her hand on Mary's shoulder. Tilting her head upward as if to tip her tears back inside her face, Mary said, I just can't believe how coincidental things can be. I mean, my first husband in an accident, and then me? What's the world trying to tell me? Mary, you and your husband live in the desert. You both drove a lot. There might not be a message in it at all. It might just be an accident, a true, random accident. You think so? Maybe, maybe not. Then again, I like to think everything has a purpose. What it means depends on what you want it to mean. It's how you choose to paint the picture of it in your head. That's why I think art can be so healing, because it makes you look at things and see them, not for how they really are, but for how you want them to be. Mary smiled. She looked at Julie. I think I get it. Let's get back to painting. They worked together on the painting with almost no talking until lunchtime. Before Mary left, Julie said, how would you like to go on a little field trip to the gallery with me the day after tomorrow? You ever been to the Albright Knox? No. I'm still new in town, remember? Are you up for it? Sure, I'd like it. And if it will come to getting me out of speech therapy, I'd even go with you to the movies. The movies? Yeah, movies are too boring. They're too long. I hate sitting still in the dark, said Mary. I promise that the gallery won't be anywhere near as boring as a movie. Sign me up, kid. I'll see you then. At the end of the day, Julie went to Sherry in administration to get Mary's emergency contact information. Julie felt it was above and beyond her duty to contact Mary's family. Mary's contact file had only one number for a Patricia Goodyear, Mary's daughter. There was no listing for her son Brett. Back in the art room, Julie dialed Pat's number. Hello, is this Patricia? Yeah, this is Pat. Who's this? The stressed-out voice on the other end sounded frantic. My name's Julie. I'm your mother's art teacher here at Buffalo Rehab. Art teacher, said Pat. She's supposed to be rehabilitated, not going back to school. Pat, I'd like you to meet with me at the Albright Knox Gallery on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Right at 9 in the morning, in the middle of the week? I work, you know. This is important. You just have to come. I don't see what could be more important than work, but I can provide a doctor's letter from my manager so you can get the day off. Does that help? In that case, I can be there, but I don't want to give any donations. No, it's nothing like that. No. If anything, you'll be coming away with more than what you came in with. Julie sat a moment in the chair at her desk. She turned off the overhead lights and turned on the day-for-night bulb. She poured herself a cup of peppermint tea and hoped she had done the right thing. The day after the gallery field trip was cold even for January in Buffalo. The lake effect snow was severe enough to be called a blizzard. Julie thought of canceling the trip, but she was confident enough in her driving abilities to get both her and Mary safely to the gallery, which was less than 20 minutes away. The trip was important. Julie hoped that Mary's daughter would show up, as she said she would. Julie stopped the van in front of the main gallery entrance. The wheels crunched in the snow. It appeared as though no one was there. "Is it open?" asked Mary. "They have to be," said Julie. "It's not like school. They don't have snow days." Julie went back to the van and removed Mary's safety straps. She opened the van door. Cold air blasted in, carrying dancing flakes of snow into the cab. Mary positioned herself on the platform. Julie secured her before lowering Mary to the curb. Mary was bundled in a wool hat, a scarf, and a heavy coat with a hood. She had never been in Buffalo during the winter or any other North American city. Until this time in her life, she had been a desert woman. "Oh, heavens, this is cold," said Mary. "You people actually choose to live here? There's a good 6 inches of snow on the sidewalk. Can I take this power chair through it?" Julie seemed unaffected by the cold at all. "I lived here a long time. I love winter. It makes things clean. Your chair can go through the snow. Come on, no problem. I'll be here to help you." "I'm going to head in then." "Okay, I'll lock up the van. It should be okay to leave it here for a while." Julie and Mary went in through the entrance, past the plexiglass donation box filled with bills, and came to the administration desk. The elderly woman behind the desk smiled and asked, "Do you folks have a ticket or a membership?" Julie replied, "We're here as part of the Buffalo Rehab field trip. We called and arranged it with Cassandra." "Oh, you're Julie. You're good to go." Mary looked down one end of the hall. She saw a group of high school-age kids crowding every space. In the other direction, she saw large paintings of dark purple. "I see something I like already," said Mary. "Can we go down that way?" "Just a minute, wait. We're waiting for someone?" "We are. Who's meeting us? A tour guide?" "No, Mary, it's someone you know." "I've only been in town a few weeks. Who would I know beside the staff at Buffalo Rehab? And don't be mad, Mary. I talked to Pat the other night. She wants to come through the gallery with you and I doubt that.
No.
She's never been interested in anything like this. She likes computers, cars, and going to work to make money. She said she'd be here. Let's not wait too long. Let's just wait 5 more minutes," said Julie. They loitered by the main entrance, looked out at the pure white scene. It looked as though no one would come in and out of the mess outside. And no one did. Julie was disappointed that Patricia did not arrive. She wondered how Mary must have taken it. "Mary, the weather's really bad. I think she still might show up, though. She has my cell number. Don't expect a call from her anytime soon. I've only gotten 3 calls in the last year." Julie and Mary moved through the gallery, passing massive abstractions, sleek sculptures, crowds of students, video screens. Though Mary found many of the modern works unusual, she could see the technique and find meaning in those pieces. Julie explained many of the less representational works, and Julie was pleased that Mary found acceptance and true appreciation in her heart for the artwork that didn't look too much like real stuff. On the second floor, however, Mary felt a different kind of inspiration amongst the pieces there. From the modernist portraits to the impressionistic landscapes. "I like this room," said Mary. "More than the others?" "Not really more or less than the others, but the space has a peaceful feeling. Warm and friendly. Nothing dark or cold here. I know dark and cold has a time and place, but for now this is what I need." Then, if a chair could have brakes to be slammed, Mary would have slammed them hard, because she stopped that fast. Julie even looked down to see if Mary's tires had left a mark on the pristine floor from the sudden stop. Mary's face was focused on the far corner of the room. What is it? You all right? Mary breathed through her open mouth a few times while pointing her shaking finger at the landscape painting in the far corner of the room. Julie, I don't know if I believe what I'm seeing, but I think that piece, that desert there, that's one of my husband's paintings. For seriously? Oh my God, let's check to see if that's an authentic Thomas Lincoln. Let's go over. No, not yet, said Mary. She was still in awe. Can you push me there? I can take control of your stick for you. Julie carefully steered Mary toward the painting. Mary asked, did you know my husband's painting was in this gallery? No, I didn't. I must have looked at it a dozen times, but I never memorized the name. As they moved in closer, they saw a framed oil painting depicting steps and crevices of orange rock surrounding flat, sandy-colored platforms. Small, yet steep, little mountains poked into a cerulean blue sky, being overcome by dramatic clouds of magenta and orange. That's Death Valley, said Mary. I remember when Tom painted that. I was carrying Brett. Patricia was just a little girl. She'd watch him all day long in the studio. Let's just check the nameplate, said Julie. I know it's his. To the right of the painting there stood a woman in a long black coat. She wore a big fluffy hat. She was directly in front of the nameplate on the wall. Excuse me, said Julie. Can I just sneak a peek at the name there? The woman in black turned to face them. A black cashmere scarf partially concealed her face. The woman said to Mary, Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Mary looked shocked. The emotion she felt upon seeing her husband's painting was now made greater by seeing her daughter in front of it. Mary began to cry. Patricia, said Mary, you came. Yes. I was late as usual, Mom. Pat unraveled her scarf. I came up here to find you, and I figured you'd have made it up here by now. Thank you for coming, said Julie. She smiled warmly. Julie was touched by the happenstance reunion right there. I'm Julie. We spoke on the phone. Nice to meet you, Julie. I'm sorry I didn't make it on time. The weather's just awful, and I didn't charge my cell phone last night. Crying gently, Mary moved closer to Pat, bent over at the waist to hug her mother. Mary said, Did you know your father's work was in here? Yes. I found out a year ago. But it's been here for longer than that. What? How come you never told me? I'm the executor of the estate. Someone from Buffalo bought it back in the late 70s. A man named Penny. Oh, interrupted Julie. Charles Rand Penny. He was an art collector who lived in the Bewley building in Lockport. Yeah, that's him, said Pat. When Penny died almost 2 years ago, it was up for auction. The present owner wanted it on display in a gallery somewhere. It ended up here. Do they know who owns it now? Asked Mary. I asked, but the donor wants to remain anonymous, replied Pat. I'd really be interested in buying it back, said Mary. Seeing it here now, I feel such a connection to it. Don't you think it belongs back home in the desert where it came from? I mean, what happens when the lender takes it back and we never get to see it again? The gallery can't say who it belongs to, said Pat. Most paintings on loan here stay for 5 years, said Julie. I think you'll always have a chance to visit. Have you seen it before, Pat? Opening her overcoat, Pat folded her arms, looked up as she formulated an estimate. I guess about 8 times. Since it was here, said Mary. No, this month, said Pat. What? You mean you come here like twice a week? Pat turned a little red in the face. She nodded while turning her gaze back to the painting. Her eyes were moist and glassy. Julie said, I can't believe this coincidence of all this. I mean, what are the chances? I don't think it's coincidence, said Mary. I think it's Thomas. He's somehow behind all this. I don't know, Mom. But I agree with Julie. It's an amazing coincidence. How does a desert painting from the High Mojave end up in Buffalo, New York? Patricia, I'm more amazed than you. I didn't know you felt so sentimental about your father's work. I remember when Dad painted it. It might be one of my first memories. It feels good to get close to it like he's in it. The three of them gradually moved out of the room to make their way back downstairs to the main level. They walked quietly together, stopping only at the window to look out at the snow, which was now falling more gently, but still accumulating steadily. Looking at the winter wonderland outside, Mary remarked, "I see why they need hot desert scenes here in Buffalo." As they bundled up to go back outside, Julie said to Pat, "Please come by the art room. I think you'll be impressed and touched by your mother's work." She turned to Mary then. "Wouldn't you like your daughter to see what you've been doing?" "She doesn't need to take time out of her day to do that. That's okay," said Mary. "No, it's fine," said Pat. "I can come by tomorrow, Mom. I've got some sick days coming to me. I'll just use one." The solid glass door of the gallery opened up. Mary wheeled out to the snow-covered sidewalk as Julie tried to start the van. Pat stood to the side, contemplating how her mother would need to get around by way of a special van and assistance from now on. The van's engine churned, but would not rumble. "Sounds like the battery's dead," yelled Mary over the noise of wind and passing cars. "I could give you guys a ride, but I don't think we could get you to your power chair in my car, Mom." "Oh, Julie," said Julie. Julie. "I must have left the lights on. I'll have to call transportation and call for help. They won't get here for at least an hour. The lights on." "We'll take care of it ourselves," said Mary. "Pat, bring your car around. We can boost the battery." "You know how to do that, Mom?" "I'm sure we can figure it out for ourselves." "Oh, great," said Pat. "I can't think of a better way to spend a weekday morning than being electrocuted in the middle of a blizzard." The van did not take the jump from Pat's car. After the first few attempts, Julie called Bill in transportation at Buffalo Rehab and asked for a replacement vehicle. Due to the blizzard, Bill would be very late. Julie, Mary, and Pat went back to the gallery, enjoyed lunch together in the luminous cafeteria. Pat called into work and took the rest of the day off to be with her mother. The replacement van did not arrive until 5 p.m. Throughout that wintry day, Julie found herself thinking how remarkable Mary's recovery had been. The woman was 66 years old. She had acquired a brain injury a month ago. She was speaking, moving, holding up through a tough day. Above all, she was progressing quickly as an artist. Julie wondered at the art. Was it causing all of this to happen? But to Julie, an artist herself, art seemed to be the purpose, if not the cause, of all things in life. The next day, the snow of the blizzard turned to slush in the brilliant January sun. The weather had shifted dramatically, but not to such an extreme that it felt like spring. Julie looked out the art room window, breathed deeply as if she was taking air in right through the glass into her lungs. "Looks like spring out there, Mary." "That's the way it looks," said Mary. "But it sure don't feel like it, even with the sun out. I'm still not used to this cold." "You'll get used to it. It won't be long now till spring." Mary's hand was shaking more than usual that morning, and so Julie reached to help her keep it still. "Should we do hand over hand?" asked Julie. "Yes, please. I don't know what's wrong with me today." Julie gently placed her hand on Mary's and steadied it as Mary stroked with the brush. "These are the finishing touches. It takes time. Just relax. Don't go so fast. Just be here with it. Enjoy yourself, Miss Mary." I know, said Mary. With a dry, round-tipped brush, Mary made tiny circular motions. She left wispy white streaks in the clouds that enveloped a barely decipherable rainbow. "Good morning, you two," said Heather, the physical therapist. "I brought a guest with me. She says she knows you, Mary." Beside Heather, Patricia stood with her hands in her pockets of her long black overcoat. She wore on her face an expression of inconvenience, as if she'd been waiting in line at Tim Hortons for 30 minutes. "This is my daughter," said Mary. "I thought so," said Heather, laughing. "Similar sense of crusty humor." I'm a lot funnier when I get my morning coffee, said Patricia, whose face bloomed into an almost childish pout. I just made a pot of mint tea, said Julie. Would you like some? Anything that'll wake me up, answered Pat. She removed her heavy coat, hung it from the top corner of the art room door. Actually, there's no caffeine in it, said Julie. But it is organic. Great. So I'll still be tired and drowsy, but in a healthy way. Mary wheeled back from her painting, glasses on the tip of her nose. Try it, Pat. It's good. Stimulating in its own way. You know, all that coffee doesn't help anything in the long run. Heather said, nice meeting you, Pat. Goodbye. Hope to see you again. Oh, and Mary, I can expect to see you at 1:30 for therapy, right? Mary nodded and smiled. Julie led Pat into the center of the room by the round table. So, this is our art room, where participants come to do art. We find that it helps people find themselves, refine their motor skills, build self-confidence, and what else, Mary? What does coming to the art room do for you? Well, it helps me get my mind back together. Every day in rehab, and after an accident like that, you have to work hard just to keep your spirits up. Pat strolled around the room, looking carefully at the works on the walls, and asked, how many students come to your class? It's not really class per se, said Judy. The relationship between the individual and me is something closer to a friendship rather than a teacher-student kind of thing. It's more like two artists working together. Finally, Patricia's eyes came to Mary's painting of the stormy sky. Mom, that's yours, isn't it? I'd say it is partly, said Mary, but it's also your father's. I really feel that he was coming through on that painting, like he was guiding me or something. Guiding you? Asked Pat, looking a little worried. How do you mean? I guess all those years of watching him paint somehow got into my subconscious. I just learned through him in 37 years of marriage. 37 years, said Pat. I'm just moving into year 5 with Jeff and wonder how I could put off 32 more. Well, Jeff's nothing like your father. Your father wasn't in the world for money, and he always wanted me to do what I wanted to do. He had no interest in controlling me. You haven't even spent enough time around him to make that judgment. I've spent enough time to know what he's like. Julie sensed the conversation turning personal and serious. She removed her apron, draped it on the back of her desk chair. I'm going to talk to Sherry about ordering some more supplies. I'll leave you two alone for a bit. Sure thing, Julie. We'll be here, said Mary. I know that Jeff isn't as perfect as Dad, but neither am I. Let me ask you a simple question, Patricia, and it shouldn't take any thinking to answer. Ready? Are you happy? Yes, said Pat enthusiastically. I'm going to ask again. Are you truly happy with Jeff? Well, not every minute of the day, said Patricia. Of course not. But at the end of the day, when you add up all your joys and troubles, do you have more joy on your hands than sadness? Who has joy in them at the end of a work day? Marriage is hard. Mary wheeled closer to Pat. With your father, I always had joy at the end of the day, even if it was hard, no matter the challenge. Not everyone is like you two. You were special. That can't always be. We had our troubles. Your father was the most stubborn man I'd ever met in my life. To this day, no man or woman I have met has come even close to having a will as strong as your father's. Dad was determined enough to never wear a seatbelt. Look where that got him. Mary was silent. Her eyes went glassy with tears. She turned away from Pat to look at the painting. You still blame me for what happened to your father, said Mary. Crying now, speaking through quivering lips. Pat felt suddenly guilty for the jab, but another part of her was relieved for saying it. She did have some blame for her mother. Not exactly, Mom, she said. But you could have made him wear a seatbelt. He would have listened to you. You have to be firm with Dad. He will listen. Patricia, I'm telling you, I did everything I could in my power to make that man wear a belt. I even told him I was going to get rid of the second car if he didn't start wearing one. I told him he'd have to bike in the desert. You have to believe me. I wanted him to wear it. I begged him to wear it. I wanted him to be safe more than anyone in the world. Now no one misses him more than I do. No one. I live with it every day, Patricia. Can you please let me live with my own blame and regret? I've got enough for me. I don't need any more from you. Patricia could not look at her mother's reddening face, wet streams trailing down her cheeks. She looked into the painting and said, I don't blame you for not making him wear the belt. But I told both of you that smoking was bad for so many reasons, one of which was the danger of messing around with those cigarettes when you're driving. Pat had raised her voice and now looked directly into her mother's eyes. Heather, the physical therapist, overheard the yelling and popped in. She said, Mary, you all right in there? Heather fired a look of concern at Mary and Pat. We're fine, thank you, Heather, said Mary, who managed to turn on a smile then. Well, let me know if you need anything. I'm just across the hall. Patricia pulled a chair away from the round table in the center of the room and sat in front of her mother. I told you both that cigarettes could kill you, but never thought that it would kill you instantly. We all know that Dad could have avoided the accident had he not been trying to brush hot ashes off his lap. I never smoked another cigarette after that accident, said Mary. I haven't even craved one after that accident. The car came right at us. There was no avoiding it. There's no going back. It happened again 4 years later. Another accident. I wasn't even smoking. So let it go, Patricia. You have to forgive us. Patricia sobbed, her face in the palm of her hands. She said, I did forgive you. It was never your fault. But I felt it was my fault for not convincing Dad to stop smoking. I guess that's the thing about blame and regret. When you feel it, you want others to feel it with you. For the first time in years, they hugged. A true embrace. I'm going to miss Clown, too, said Mary. He was an amazing dog, said Patricia. I'll never forget the time we were coming back from Dad's funeral. You and I were in the front seat. He must have sensed our sadness. He put his head on the armrest. I think he had tears coming out of his eyes. He was crying. I know, said Mary. I don't think I'll be able to go back to the house without a minute. It's all too sad sometimes, Patricia. Maybe it's just the right amount of sad, Mom. Just the right amount to bring us all together. Their embrace parted. Julie walked back into the art room, carrying a small glass teapot, steaming with mint tea. Who's up for some tea? Asked Julie. January turned to February. There were no days that showed any hope of spring. Winter was long, harsh, mostly white. By the month of March, Mary had made a remarkable recovery from her injury, and her doctor and her therapist were in disbelief at her improvement in all areas. Also by late March, when winter showed no sign of return, Mary had produced 15 original paintings, ranging in size from small to large. Around the rehab facility, Mary had made friends with all staff. Knowing everyone by name, she had become something of a model patient. Mary's recovery progressed alongside her growing love for her daughter. The love was always there between them. But in the months of Mary's recovery, she and Patricia opened their love to each other. The love did not just open them up, it closed all distance between them. At first, Patricia visited the art room once a week, but by April she was stopping in daily, taking extended lunch breaks from work. Mary felt worried at first that Pat would be taking so much time from her job as a computer technician to visit, but Pat had made a decision to begin working more from home and make the gradual transition to self-employment, which had been her dream for the last 5 years. The art room was becoming a place where Mary and Patricia could find each other. For the first time in their lives, together, they shared a common passion, painting. Now, at least once a week, Pat and Mary contacted the art gallery, hoping to hear that the owner of Thomas's work could come forth and agree to sell the piece back to them. Julie had helped them search for other works by Thomas Lincoln, but all of Thomas's larger landscape pieces had been purchased or claimed in the years since the artist had passed. Mary had pieces back home on the walls and in storage, but none of those works were from the era when Pat spent the days at her father's side in the studio. The landscape paintings Mary created with Julie were very much in the style of her husband's most fruitful period, when Patricia was home with him. On Easter weekend, Mary had recuperated enough to spend a few days at her daughter's home in Lockport. Pat had learned how to help her mother transfer from her power chair to bed and to the restroom. But aside from those tasks, Mary was very independent. It was less than an hour after Mary's transportation dropped her off when Pat announced she had a surprise. "What is it, Patricia?" said Mary, laughing, knowing very well that her daughter had something of a tease. "I'm not going to tell you here at home, Mom," said Pat. "This is special, so we're going to make a whole day of it." "I don't understand why you can't just tell me what it is. We can still have a day of it if I know now." "No, come on, Mom. Just play along." "All right, I can wait. But where are we going to exchange this news of a surprise?" "We're going for lunch at the Weatherwax Cafe in Sanborn."
Oh, good for them.
"But how am I going to get there?" asked Mary. "You can't lift me out of my chair and into your car." "Bill from transportation will be here in a couple of hours." "This must be an important surprise if you planned all this." "I'm a lot more organized when Jeff is traveling on business." "Doesn't he help out around the house?" "He works long hours, so I can't blame him." Mary shook her head. She looked at Pat reproachfully. Patricia noticed her mother's facial expressions were more distinct now after almost 4 months of therapy. "Come on, Mom, don't give me that look. Can't we just be together today? Can we have a lecture-free day? Can we just do something for fun? Not have it be some life lesson I'm supposed to learn?" "You should be learning something every day, Patricia." "I prefer to forget something every day, and eventually I'd have a clean slate." They laughed. Most of their disputes were pretend, but always with some truth behind them. The lights in the Weatherwax Cafe were bright but not harsh, and beautiful natural sunlight beamed in through the front of the large space, bustling with movement and the sounds of afternoon socializing. Aromatic coffee wafted around Mary and Patricia, and just the smell of it seemed to satisfy them. "I love Julie's mint tea, but sometimes I need a good strong cup of joe. It's been so long since I've been out to lunch like this. Thank you, Patricia." "You're welcome, Mom. I'm glad you're doing so well. I really am." The server brought 2 large mugs of steaming black coffee to their table. Mary reached inside the satchel at the side of her chair and pulled out a long straw. "I'll have to drink some out of the cup with the straw before I can pick it up." "That's amazing you can pick the cup up like that after what you've been through." The walls of the room were decorated with paintings by local artists. The majority of them were by an artist named Weatherwax, the cafe owner, perhaps. They saw a lovely sunset over the dark waters of the Erie Canal. Birch trees in winter against a backdrop of wandering Fauvus colors, and one of a winding dirt road through a field of wildflowers. A lone bull staring bravely from a cold hill top, and a pointillistic monkey with bulging red eyes. "An interesting collection of work," said Pat. Mary sipped from her straw and nodded. "Mom, I could totally see your paintings on the walls in a place like this." "Come on, Pat. I paint because I'd like to, not because I'm any good at it." "But you are good, Mom. Really, I'm not just saying that." Mary sucked back the coffee. She realized at the Weatherwax Cafe that she had not had a true cup of coffee, a strong cup of coffee, a desert cup of coffee, since before her accident almost 4 months ago. Patricia's eyes opened moon-wide when she saw her mother suck the scalding hot coffee so quickly through a straw. "How can you drink it like that? I can barely even touch the mug. Are your lips made of leather or something?" Mary must have emptied the cup by half. She slid the large mug toward her carefully at first and then wrapped both hands around it. The heat of it felt good against her palms. Lifting the mug to her lips, Mary tipped the cup all the way back, turning the bottom to the sky. The cup came back down to the table with a thud. Said Mary. Her eyes were closed in deep satisfaction. They opened again, the effects of caffeine rushing through her. "So, Pat, what's the big surprise?" 2 days ago, I get a friend request on Facebook. The name was Fargo Crosby. I didn't know who it was, but in the little picture I could see a railing, the ocean behind it, and a man standing on the deck of a cruise ship. Mary opened her mouth as if to speak. Her lips moved. A hiss of air came out. Fargo Crosby? She finally asked, dumbfounded. It was Brett, said Pat. He sent me a message. He left port from Miami on a cruise ship where he had been working in the kitchen. Somewhere in the Atlantic. Off the coast of Brazil, I think. He took a better-paying job on a different ship. Well, why didn't we hear from him? Why couldn't anyone find him? Mary's outburst temporarily captured the attention of some of the boisterous clientele of the Weatherwax Cafe. He said he'd been drinking a lot. Constantly drinking. A lot. On shore in Edinburgh, he got in a fight with some locals. And he was arrested for assault. Assault was brought down to disturbing the peace, and he was in jail in Scotland. He's out now. I told him about your accident. He'll be back in America this week. He's coming straight here to see you. Mary sat stunned. She wished she hadn't downed her coffee so quickly. She felt anxiety radiating outward from her heart. She felt happy at first that Brett was unharmed and coming home, relieved that he hadn't forgotten her, and then angry that he'd been in so much trouble. A cruise ship? Said Mary. Drinking? Assault? Prison in Scotland? She looked around the room. The faces she saw turned red. The area around the faces went red. A curtain of even darker red came from the ceiling, fell to the floor. All was red. Cold sweat in her brow. Dark spots blinking at the edge of her vision. Mom, are you okay? Asked Patricia, rising from her seat to go to her mother's side. Mary's head fell forward like a nod into sleep. But she bobbed down and did not come up. She last remembered her head landing in her daughter's warm palms, held just above the surface of the hard table. Mary awoke on a table in the ER room at the Erie County Medical Center. A nurse spoke to her. Hello, Miss Lincoln. Can you hear me? Can you see me, Miss Lincoln? You're okay. We believe you've just had an anxiety attack. Your blood pressure has returned to normal. Your daughter's just outside. I'll bring her in. Mary was sitting up in bed when Patricia walked in. Oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd react that way. Mary weakly hugged her daughter back. I'm fine, Pat. I'm fine. It wasn't your fault. I think I just had too much coffee for news like that. They said you can go back to your rehab room in an hour after you wake up. It was just an anxiety attack, they think, but they'll have to check your tests again. It was just anxiety. I know what it feels like by now, and I know what tests feel like, too. Brett is fine, really. From his message, it sounded like he learned from this. He's given up booze. I think your accident really scared him. When will he be here? In 3 days. Where will he stay? What he didn't drink away on the cruise ships, he managed to save, so I think he can stay pretty much anywhere he wants. He asked about an apartment, actually. I found him a small place in Amherst. An apartment? That the boy planned to stay a weekend would have surprised Mary, but hearing of his intention to rent a monthly apartment almost sent her back into darkness again. I was just surprised as you are. 7 words from him in the last 7 months, and now he wants to live in a strange city just to be close to you and me. Why don't you offer to let him stay at your place, Pat? You and Jeff have 2 extra bedrooms. Not a good idea. Jeff doesn't like visitors, and certainly not the kind that stay over at night. But he's your brother. He can afford his own place. Besides, I think he plans to look for work here. Mary felt a sudden sentimentality come over her. Right there on the uncomfortable vinyl table in the ER room, her son and daughter would be with her again, and with each other, perhaps even living for some time in the same town. Good were the chances of a relationship growing between them. It was important to Mary that her children be close. She didn't want either of them to feel alone. And with Mary's recent accident, to her, the need for Patricia and Brett to be close was even greater. Patricia, I just thought of something, and I can't believe I never thought of it until now. No one has ever talked to me about it. What's that, Mom? When I leave rehab, where am I going to live? Will I be able to take care of the house? I don't think I can. You don't have to worry about that right now. Just keep getting better. You can always sell the house and move into an apartment. But where? I've lived in Nevada so long. After your father died, I stayed, but I don't have to stay there anymore.
No.
I guess you can go anywhere.
Go.
The winter thaw was late that spring, but in the last week of May, the weather had turned suddenly warm, as if someone had pulled a switch to turn on summer. The mood of the Friday afternoon was intensely joyful. The staff at Buffalo Rehab were looking forward to the weekend, with talk of beer and barbecues, gardening and casual strolls through the park. Minds focused more on getting out of work than doing it. But Mary and Julie were in the lush courtyard of the building. Julie had made a small painting station beneath a cluster of tall lilac trees. The flowers of purple, pink, and mauve were coming into bloom. The air was redolent with fresh life. The immensity of the natural beauty before them was as distracting as it was inspiring. It feels so good. The sun, said Mary. She closed her eyes, turned her face into the light. The warmth of the beams heated her skin as a cool breeze passed through her hair. It was perfect. She deliberately absorbed the sensation of spring. You know, Julie, I've never felt spring. That's because you never felt winter. The desert sun never felt like this. It's like the light in the air here is cleansing me. Does it make you thankful for winter? I wouldn't go that far. Mary opened her eyes, looked back at the painting in front of her. The canvas exploded with clusters of soothing purple and pink, embedded in a cozy green texture of foliage. Mary had never painted out of doors before, and on this day, their first day outside, she and Julie were painting the lilac trees. Alive before them, the trees gave Mary a rush of energy. She applied the paint quickly and freely, having none of her typical reservations about applying color to the blankness of a page. I've never seen you work this fast, said Julie. We'll have to come outside more often. I'm too nervous. That might have something to do with this newly found speed of mine. When are they arriving, Mary? They were supposed to be here half an hour ago. They'll come. I left a sign on the door. Pat knows how to find the courtyard. Bird song came from the top of the nearest lilac tree. Mary and Julie squinted up to see a male and female robin bobbing contentedly on a springy branch. The appearance of the birds, and especially their elaborate singing, made the afternoon perfectly ironic. Those are robins, exclaimed Mary. Do you know I've never seen one before? Not for real. I take it they don't do well in the desert. Hard to find worms in earth that dry. Robins need trees and rain. Do you think lilacs would grow in Nevada, Julie? I'm sure lilacs will grow in Nevada. I wouldn't count on them blooming. They need a certain amount of chilling, which you don't get in Nevada. They need to go dormant. That's when the trees store up their energy. From that stored energy, they bloom. You couldn't plant the kind we have here, the Syringa vulgaris. But if you were to plant the Syringa persica at your home, you'd probably see them bloom the first year or two. And that would be it. After a season or two of blooming, they'd be exhausted and too tired to ever bloom again. Too tired to bloom, said Mary. I didn't know you know so much about trees. From the open courtyard door, Sherry's voice called out, cut off the robin song. You two, you have guests. Mary felt her heart beat warmly up to her neck, her anticipation now agonizing. Pat stepped in slowly, her arms folded, a gentle smile across her face, and behind her was Brett. He appeared taller than before, narrower, and he wore round-rimmed eyeglasses that gave scholarly dignity to an otherwise ragged swashbuckler appearance. A thick mustache with waxed ends made him look as though he'd be at home behind the bar of an old western saloon. Julie took the paintbrush from Mary's hand. Mary wheeled across the cobblestone surface to her son, but in 3 or 4 of his long strides he was there with her already, his arms around her, and hers around him. With a voice hardened by the last 5 years, he said quietly in a monotone, Hi. Hi. Mary could only weep in response. No words passed between them as the robins began to sing again, and this time from the cool shade of the grass. Julie took a picture in her mind, for to take one with a camera would do no good. The moment could not be held with anything but the heart. Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It was my fault. I should have kept in better touch. I'm sorry. It's okay, son. It's all well. No, it's my fault. I never imagined anything like this could happen to you. Not to you, too. Pat rested her hand on her mother's shoulder, kneading it ever so gently. Brett and Mary pulled away slowly. She looked up at her son. Close now. His tanned skin held a few wrinkles and lines and patches of red. He'd aged some 10 years in what should have been only 5. But her gratitude at having him there erased her judgment. For the moment, beneath the lilacs, there was only the sensation of being complete. For a long time, no one spoke, because to do so would risk breaking the perfection of the day. The robins, however, continued to sing and fly about the courtyard playfully. In the silence, Brett had been eyeing the emerging painting. I didn't know you could paint. I did I? You did. You are. And you will, said Mary. Hi, I'm Julie. She reached out, and for Brett's hand, which came up slowly. His hand was rough and calloused. I'm Mary, art teacher. I can see that, he said, still looking at the painting. You really have to see inside. I've done much more than this. Not all great, but they can't all be gems, said Mary. I think they're all gems, Mom, said Patricia. It feels so good to have you both here like this on this day. I'll leave the 3 of you alone for a while, said Julie. I'll be in the art room if you need me. How have you been, son? Has the world treated you well? I can say it's treated me as well as I've treated it. He sat down on the bench beside Mary. It hasn't been easy. No shortage of adventure. Now tell me the truth, said Mary. Are you still drinking? I don't know. I have the odd beer now and then, but I don't think it's a problem. Your father had the odd drink too, and it was a problem. He didn't think it was, but it's almost always a problem. I want you to stop completely. That's a lot to ask, Mom. It's all or nothing on this one, Brett. But you have to have some fun in life, he responded. He looked a little annoyed behind a slight smile. What does it do for you, son? Does it actually help with anything? My nerves are bad. It helps relax me. But there's other ways to deal with your feelings, ways that actually deal with them instead of just immersing them in a toxic fluid for a few hours. I know. I've been doing it for 5 years. It took me that long to learn it. Doesn't work. Hasn't helped anything at all. And I learned the hard way. You'll just have to take my word for it that I'm done with drinking. But there's always that one, said Pat. I've gone after it myself. She looked distantly at the robins in the grass. I want you kids to know that no matter how badly a life can be broken, it can always be put back together. If life is there, if the desire to love life is there, then you can repair just about anything. Find something you love, something outside of yourself, and give to it. I found that something. Painting. But it's more than just putting paint on canvas, because I feel your father in the work, and I feel each of you. I never thought anything could break me more than losing your father, but something did. This accident came along. The next thing I knew, I'd lost all the things I'd taken for granted. I fought hard to get them back. I still don't have them at all. But I appreciate the ones I do have. More than ever. These hard times, like winter. It hurts. There's beauty in it. We might need it to grow. Pat and Brett had sat and listened. Since their teenage years, they had neglected most of what their mother had said to them. With past lectures, they had feigned listening by nodding and making occasional eye contact. But this time, they listened. Something in their mother held their attention, and her words went deep inside them. They would never forget what she said to them. Beneath the willows, beneath the warm sun in May, amongst the lilacs, Mary's words were real, the effects powerful. Now, Mary continued, do your homework. Find something to love. I was thinking that if we have time today, said Pat, we should go to the gallery so Brett can see Dad's painting. Brett turned to her quickly. His eyebrows squirmed up his forehead. You mean Dad's Death Valley landscape? Yeah, it's in town here on loan. Oh, I know, said Brett. I've been meaning to have it transferred. No, said
No.
Mary. She went pale in the sun. You?
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
anonymous donor, said
Yeah.
Pat, socking her brother in the bicep. I thought I told you guys, he said. It went up for auction. I bid on it through the phone. I always loved it. I never really knew who ended up with it. But I bid and won. But it must have sold for thousands, tens of thousands. I was good for it, said Brett. I didn't drink all that much.
No.
You drank enough to forget to tell us. Your father was always selling off his works without telling me. He just always assumed he'd make a better penny the next time. But when he died, we didn't have much to keep for ourselves. Well, I've been thinking about leaving it here in Buffalo a while anyway. Pat tells me you're looking for an apartment. Yeah, I could settle down here a while. The winter's harsh. I think I can take it. He put his hands behind his head and leaned back, soaking the sun into his leathery complexion. Mary thought it odd how quickly things had come together. There in the garden, they were spending time, as if no years had passed between them. Perhaps that was the true test of family and friendship, staying together, even when you're apart. Brett and Pat would look for something to love tomorrow. For today, what they loved was right beside them, all around them. On the day of Mary's discharge from Buffalo Rehab, Julie took Mary to the boardroom, where the staff had prepared a surprise party. The party was not much of a surprise to Mary, who had known about it all along. But Mary was more than surprised, however, by the walls. Framed elegantly and mounted on every available space on the boardroom walls were her paintings. Mary had become accustomed to seeing them in stacks of curvy paper on tables in the art room, but seeing them installed with such professionalism and care simply melted her. Her accomplishment was apparent, clear, hanging on the wall for all to see. For a moment she even forgot that she was standing with the help of her walker, but standing mostly by her own will. The August day was unusually hot, but not like the heat of the desert. Patricia helped her mother into the car. Brett climbed into the back seat. Julie and the rest of the staff waved goodbye as the Lincoln pulled away in Pat's car. Pat divorced Jeff in June and had been living alone until today, when her mother would be her new roommate. Brett had already continued his studies in occupational therapy at the University of Buffalo. The car contained everything that was important to Mary. She remembered how easily it could all be taken away. Mary felt a glow, gratitude for life, amazed at how life can be healed by living it.